Hi, my name is Sienna Serta. I'm a junior at CBU and my major is communications. Since it's a small group communications, I'm just going to talk about a little bit how my perception of small groups and my experiences and how I relate to the Bible. So I'm just going to start off by saying small groups, they're okay and idea wise to me, and I only say that because all of my high school was a project based learning school, so every unit we did, we had to do a project. And we were often paired up in groups with people we knew and groups of people like just regular classmates or at random. And it was very frustrating when you have certain people because everyone has a different attitude towards how they look at school and what they were doing. As in, some people were A students and they were very dominant and they had a certain way they wanted to do things, and that was final. You have other people who didn't care because they looked at, oh, I have someone smart, they're going to take care of it, I don't have to do anything. And then you also have the other people that are shy that want to say something, but they're also too scared. And it works all kinds of ways. And I just feel like, like in high school, just learning from that, I felt like I didn't learn because I understand the concept of learning by doing, but in that case, it was always an uneven amount of work. And depending on how the group was, sometimes you'd be in a group where you didn't do much because you had someone who purposely took control and did everything, and then you also had times where you were forced to do work that you didn't fully understand, but you kind of learned it because you had to pull something together. And I think that was kind of my idea of it, and how I felt that I couldn't always really learn, and I had a very negative experience to it. But I also do realize that when you are in a group of people, you're able to, how do I say it? Like, you're able to, like, if you know something and you teach it to someone else, you're bettering that person, but you're also reinforcing it for yourself so you understand better because you're constantly doing it. So I feel like that helps out in that sense. It's more of a great exchange of ideas when the group is able to work collectively together. Um, one, I would say this is a positive experience I had with a group was in my fall semester where all of us, it started off bad just for the simple fact that we all couldn't meet up because we all had our own obligations to take care of. And we originally wanted to be able to meet up, but we had to use Google Docs and group message to literally get this project done. And I would say one of the difficulties we did face was we weren't communicating completely up until the day of the project. Hey, this is due. Who's going to finish it? Who's going to close it out? Who's going to turn in? That was it. I personally did my part early on just because how my schedule was, but sometimes it would be I might have to go back and log on and close out the assignment because the last person who was supposed to be doing it wouldn't be available or forgot the assignment was due. So it was a lot of stress in that way, but it eventually, worked out for itself. Um, I would relate small group communication to two different Bible verses. And the first one I'm just going to say is love, I'm sorry, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And I say that because when you're put in a group at random, you may get a classmate or maybe or at work you may get someone that you don't talk to but you're forced to work with them, and you may have a negative experience from working with them for whatever reason. And at the end of the day, you have this attitude like, I don't want to work with this person again because they're like this or they're this. You're judging them based off this. So that's why I say, because it's usually people we don't really fully know them. And I would say another one is being with one another, and if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. And I say that because when I was in high school, our group projects all depended on, yes, everyone's grade was dependent on the whole project, but we also did rubrics on each other. So if I felt that this person didn't do a lot of work, I would obviously downgrade them. And it was kind of an awkward experience, especially if it was your friend, because you're kind of put in a place where you don't know. But if they don't work well, you don't feel that they deserve all the credit either, or maybe you do. But I also feel like working with friends is not a good thing because in some groups sometimes you have people, if you're out of the circle of those friends that are in the group, you may realize that they may be talking amongst you about the project and you're really unaware about it and you're left out. instead of talking collectively, and they may decide how they want to do it. It's a lot of side opinions. So in that sense, I really don't feel that it's a good, but I also do feel that you can learn a lot with working in small groups as long as you communicate effectively. The messenger, I'm sorry, everyone's receiving the message correctly. Verbally meeting up with the group is also really good. Um, and I just think like from this class I could learn a lot, and I would want to be able to pass it on just to, for example, to my younger relatives, and just to tell them like to be able to take advantage of working with groups and not to have a negative outlook like I had, and to constantly use it to grow. And I'm gonna cut my video because I'm almost at 6 minutes, but that's my a small introduction of my experiences with small groups and how I feel about them.